Welcome to episode 2 of the Bare Naked Women Show. I'm your co-host, Jen Sherman, along with
Pamela Sorensen.
B&W is a show/podcast, an online community where we openly and candidly discuss how to flourish and feel fabulous from the inside to our outside during a glamdemic. Each week, we share tips, tricks, advice, ideas, and solve problems on beauty and our overall health and wellness. Please join our conversation Tuesdays at 5:30 EST on Facebook Live and follow on social. And of course, let us know what topics you want to hear about.
With that, let's dive right in. Our guest this evening, I am so excited to have her for a bajillion reasons. Kelly Collis, aka City Shop Girl on social. So you have to make sure you follow her, City Shop Girl. She's the co-host of the Tommy and Kelly show, which you have to be listening to on their app and all, any other place. And we'll get into that a little bit. She's an entrepreneur. She's a businesswoman, a business owner. She's a wife. She's a mom of not only human children, but dog children as well. She MCs events. She has one heck of a forward-facing media career, and she's been on radio in the past before and all that other good stuff, and always doing events and hosting events. And also, the most important thing is, I would say that she is the #1 fan of the Nats and the Caps in the world. Basically, Kelly Collis does it all, and she does it with grace. She does it tirelessly, and she does it with glam, even in the pan. So welcome, Kelly Collis.
I'm just going to put you in my purse and take you everywhere I go. That was quite the introduction.
It came naturally. It's true.
Pamela.
Well, before we dive in, first of all, the first thing we have to do with our guests is cheers. So cheers to you. I said we got to do this early on so we can start drinking.
So wait, what are you drinking? We should do a little round robin. What are you drinking, Kelly?
I'm drinking a spicy margarita. It's delicious. And actually, I have to share some of the ingredients, but I'll wait till the end of the show because it's one of my favorite things.
She just revealed a little teaser, teaser right there.
What are you guys drinking?
I think we're both drinking almost the same thing. Mine is a Kettle One martini, but I have these really cool giant olives in it.
Yes. So I'm drinking it's just a vodka martini with some Kettle One. I went with the lemon twist rather than an olive as the garnish. I just took a taste and it's a little strong. So, I'm going to taste on this one. I was making a little quickly before we started the show. So this should be fun.
Well, if we're going to dive right in, there was a question that I had in my mind, and I have got to ask you point blank, Kelly, how the heck did you look so glamorous and so fab at the Grammys? When I saw that picture of you, I was like, this is in the middle of a pandemic. How the heck did you do it?
Well, also, thank you, Pamela, for the nice intro. Thank you, Jen, for having me on. Jen and Pamela doing your show. I don't really know. First off, it does help when you do a formal event when you have half your face covered, right? You don't have to worry about lipstick. You don't have to worry about breath mints. I mean, it makes it a lot easier to get dressed. But I was super excited to put on a black tie and put on heels and kind of celebrate all the restaurants. So that made it a lot easier. We did that a couple weeks ago, and it was the first time I'd really gotten dressed up since, I guess, early March. So, I mean, thank you. But again, look half my face. All you can see is my eyes.
I mean, I know that there's a beautiful face behind that, and your hair. I mean, everything. I feel like we could do. It's like the red carpet during a pandemic. It's kind of like, well, lips by, we're not sure. Masks by, Gucci. So that's one thing. Curated to match the outfit and the shoes.
Well, you know what? I was also thinking, Kelly, I was like, oh my gosh, you look so freaking fit too. That dress is amazing, but you look really fit, which is, I mean, I don't know about, well, I know about what I've not been doing. I know Jen talked a little bit about some of the stuff she's been doing, but how have you been staying fit during these interesting times?
Like Jen, I mean, I've had a Peloton for about 4 years. And so I've been loving the Peloton. They just introduced some bar classes now, and they have some mat classes that are great. So, and it also actually became a competition because I do have teenage kids. So in the height of the pandemic, when we really weren't leaving the house, like I was competing with my 16-year-old son. So that was like a little bit of incentive to like get my butt on the bike.
I love it.
You were an early adopter. 4 years.
Yeah. I love that bike. I've seen a lot of miles.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. I feel like everyone hopped on, right? Like that was one of my flourishing 5 last week, is that I said the Peloton. Now everyone got on board. I was quarantine queuing, as I like to coin it, with my family. And I felt like I had to make more like a reservation on the bike. So I opted for the mat. I was like, I'm just going to do the Peloton mat workouts. Bar, I like Hannah on the bar. I tried out the bar classes, got a little ladies squad. We FaceTimed with each other. But I personally think Peloton has really been able to kind of encumber that relationship you have with instructors, which is why you invest in, the product or the company. So who's your favorite instructor, or multiple, Kelly?
So I had a favorite instructor. She left. I actually went to New York City and took one of her classes in person.
Wow.
And I should have sent this photo because I loved her. Her name was Jennifer Jacobs, and she loved her. Follow her on Instagram. Was a little stalkish about the whole thing. Like, went to New York City for other things, but I was like, I'm taking a Peloton class in person. I'm taking her class. And so I got to talk to her afterwards and get a photo with her. And I'm like a hot, sweaty mess. And she's like, first off, she was like the size of my pinky. She made me look like a giant. And we take this photo, my hair is a mess. And she's just like perfect, like Peloton instructor. But so she was my favorite, Jen Jacobs. She's no longer with the company. I kind of bounce around. I really love Allie Love. And is there an instructor that named Jen Sherman too?
Yes. So it's funny. I think I might have mentioned this last week on the show. So maybe Jen Sherman, they had to have another Jen. Maybe she replaced Jennifer Jacobs, or there was overlap. Who knows? But there's a Jen Sherman with 2 N's, just how I spell it. And I wasn't a Peloton goer last year when I wrote it. Like, I wrote this whole my open letter to Jen Sherman that still gets hits now. But, I said, I am honored to share my SEO with you. And her son goes to Maryland. I went to Maryland. So it's like, I'm okay with it. One of my biggest articles, that's actually one of my biggest viewed articles on LinkedIn, was my Jen Sherman letter.
That's hilarious.
But
I will have to check that out.
Shout out to Jen Sherman.
Yeah, exactly. Peloton, Jen Sherman, Jennifer Jacobs, all those people. So that's how you're staying in shape. How about from a beauty perspective? Do you have any routines or any? I mean, let's face it. Literally face it. Your career is based on you actually, yes, your voice, but every morning, your face. Everybody sees your face.
All right. Well, let's be honest though. I have like 17 lights on me. I got enough light.
I'm gonna have to write that down. 17.
If I were to turn those off right now,
she's gonna order those on. She's gonna order them on Amazon right after this. Literally.
I mean, so the lighting helps, but also, I guess the first thing I did when we did open things up, but I do get Botox. I'm not afraid to talk about it. I've been getting it for about 10 years now, and I love it. So that was the first appointment. And then I got my eyebrows waxed. But I was waxing my own eyebrows, my own upper lip, and some other places for many months. And I kind of still am, because you can't get in DC, you can't get this wax because of the mask. And I mean, you could, but my guy would never break the law.
I didn't think about that. So where do you, I mean, you don't have to tell us where you go for Botox, but do you have a favorite place that you like?
I do. She's in Spring Valley. She's a doctor, so I feel very good about it. Dr. Lauren Gavaris.
Okay.
And she's about my age, and I feel like I trust her.
I feel very good for you. I would love, that's like, if I was going to go, it's like a doctor's office. It's like, all the up-to-date things. You also know not to screw up my face. So let's do this.
Yeah, right. You're lucky, and you don't have to worry about that.
Well, I'll tell you something. I have heard a lot of my girlfriends. I haven't done it yet, but a lot of people around my age, 28, will start getting Botox, like to be proactive. And I'm like, let me just start a face care solution, like have a face routine before I start that.
As it should be.
Listen, I was ready. Remember back in the Sex and the City days when we were wearing those really ridiculous heels, and then it was revealed in Hollywood that they were sticking Botox in the bottom of the balls of their feet in their heels. Yes. I said, I'm into that. I'd be into that because I'd be limping. And I was like, where can I stick some Botox in my feet?
Now none of us wear heels anymore, so I guess we don't have to worry about that.
This is very true. This is extremely true. Oh, I can't wait to tell you about, well, anyway, that will be on our Fantastic, Fabulous, Flourishing 5 when we get to that. But okay, so the other part of our whole beauty routines, how about your hair? What have you done with your hair?
That's the other thing with the lighting. I went down, I got dressed up for you girls, by the way. I put on like a nice shirt with buttons.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Like Pamela and I were on a call earlier today, and I was in a t-shirt. So I did get dressed up for you guys. But and I was looking at my hair and I'm like, yeah, we're borderline on like, we need to really up the dry shampoo game. It's looking a little limp. So I just put a bunch of dry shampoo is my friend. And I have probably 17 different. I don't have a favorite. It depends on what bottle's full. But it is different though in person. Don't you feel like you can get away with a lot more over, like my hair? I think if we were meeting in person would look a lot different than it would look right now, because you just feel like you can kind of just brush it out and you're fine. You don't have to have some volume in the back. And
oh yeah, oh hell yeah, heck yeah. You have no idea what's going on behind, but I mean, I stuck a clip. I'm like, nobody's gonna see the back of my head.
Yeah, but it looks fabulous. I mean, let's be real. I mean, that's the thing. I could speak to the hair thing very well. I mean, when I first got into the queue, I mean, it was also, I will say, I have laziness around it. It's like, what's the point? If something had to give. So if I was going to do my hair for a podcast, I was going to wear my like influencer collective jacket because I wasn't going to have to deal with an outfit, right? So like something had to give, and just to put up the whole getup, it's exhausting. You feel heavy after. You're like, no one can actually see me up close. There's a compromise. You can also always wear sweatpants. No one actually sees anything what's going on. Like I'm wearing slippers right now, so I mean, it's like.
Wait, I am too. Look, I'm wearing
love that slipper. Woo. Oh wait, let me do my Uggs, my Ugg slippers.
I can't. We're all wearing slippers.
I actually had loafers on today, and I was like, "What am I doing?"
I know our poor shoes are just so sad and lonely.
Yes,
and purses.
I know.
I had to dust them off the other day. It made me so sad. I mean, I could just walk around my apartment with them around and around and around. But yeah, especially like the cute ones that we used to wear. We used to bring with us to galas and events and fancy things. Well, okay. I think we've come to the portion of our conversation where I've been looking forward to this. I've looked forward to all of these little portions. So we're going to play a little game. It's called Would You or Wouldn't You? All right.
Keep it clean, Pamela. Keep it clean.
Oh, God, please. Believe me. Again, if my mother knew how to use the Facebook, we'd be having her on this as well. But she doesn't. So anyway. So, and Jen, I know you have, I sent you the list too.
Yeah, I have it in front of me right now.
Okay, so I'm going to start. Okay. Kelly, would you or wouldn't you get a mani-pedi during this glamdemic?
I would get a pedi. I've gotten a couple actually. Manicure, I'm still not crazy about. I don't know why, but I just feel like when they're at the feet, it's just, you're far enough away.
Yep. Okay.
I feel that.
Jen has gotten nothing. I I did do one mani, and that was it. But then they had the plexiglass.
Yeah.
But by the way, let me tell you about the plexiglass. When they're pulling your arms through and she's massaging you, my face was like, my face was like, it was like banging up against the plexiglass. Like, I don't do that anymore. I don't care for it.
I would say no massage. I would say no massage.
Yeah.
Petty. I'm done. I continue to do. Jen, how about, do you want to throw a couple in there?
Yeah, I might like do a little bit more of a one. Like, I mean, we spoke about the little waxy wax, so like that question's answered. How about just the everyday things? I mean, you're a mom, like grocery stores, and then to what capacity? What are your rules on them? You know, are you more of a delivery mom or more of a I need to go and like go to the grocery store mom?
I did delivery a lot in the beginning. I mean, I think we all were like scrubbing our groceries before they came into the house. We have a covered patio.
Covered in the garage.
But now I'm kind of over it. I've gone to the grocery store. I go multiple times a week. And I even don't wipe down the cart. I'm just very conscious about like my surroundings and touching my face, and you know, and now that everyone's wearing a mask, I don't know. I feel a little bit more comfortable.
Yep. Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Same.
Okay. Here's one. Would you or wouldn't you go see a movie in a movie theater?
No. Actually, Tommy and I were just talking about that on the show this morning, because I would go if like eating and drinking is the problem, right? Because if people are laughing or yelling or you know, like you're just droplet heaven. Right, you're inside.
Heaven, recipe for disaster. Literally, call the Corona police.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I would like to, but I don't think I would enjoy it. I'd just be like sitting there, and like I bought a face shield. I haven't worn it yet, and like I feel like I like need to be cocooned and like shed all my clothes and shower and afterwards. I don't know if it's worth it, right?
I kind of felt that way about movie theaters anyhow. I stopped going to movie theaters a while ago because they smell like stinky people. And I know that people's disgusting germs are all over the seats, and who knows what, I mean, that is, yes. Nope. Even before this thing, no way. Jen, I'll throw it back to you.
This is a good one. How do you feel about like restaurants in general? I mean, I know the no is a bar. I mean, that's what my doctor said. But like restaurants, outside dining, like do you have like kind of rules and regulations on where you would go?
For sure. So yes. And since the beginning, I've been supporting sort of the handful of restaurants that are my favorites. But I am only doing outdoor dining right now. And then in fact, I have dinner plans with like 2 other couples this Saturday, and we had to work really hard because it's 6 of us to find outdoor seating with a little bit of a heat lamp. That was like kind of a nice experience for us. So that was really challenging. So we're going to try it, but we were all adamant that we did not want to eat indoor. Not ready for that yet.
All right. That makes sense. Okay.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. My last one is, would you or wouldn't you fly?
So I booked a reservation to fly for Thanksgiving. I have not seen my parents in a year. And it's amazing. They're retired in Florida, and my whole family with the kids are going to go. But I booked Wednesday before Thanksgiving, like a month ago. It was, first off, the availability was insane. Like the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, that's the most traveled day of the year. And so we are going to go. We're going on Southwest. They still don't do middle seats. We have N95 masks, and we're just going to do it. We're going to Florida, which I know is a little bit of a hotbed, but I haven't, my parents, I haven't seen them. Yeah. So we're going to try to make that trip down and see what that looks like. So yes, I would fly. And I have lots of friends that have done it already. But it would have to be something pretty darn special.
Good.
Yeah, that makes sense. And frankly, too, with the whole flying thing, I mean, you still need to get places. but as long as it's done safely. Like my whole thing is that in the spring, we were all running around with our heads chopped off. Like what is going on? Wiping down things, like literally leaving packages outside for 24 hours. Wow, we've come a long way. And I believe that the DMV are pretty smart people. And so it's like, wear your mask, like, and you'll be fine. But we still have to keep living. So, I mean, it's just that kind of that balance and protecting your loved ones. But I'm very happy that you're venturing out. That's congratulations.
I mean, I've even toyed with like everyone wearing like Depend diapers on the plane, so we don't use so I don't know how my teenagers feel about that, but it's been up for discussion.
Yeah, I cannot remember who told me about the drive that they took, and they did not. Oh yes, I remember, and I'm not going to say the person's name, obviously, but they rented a minivan, and they said we actually had something in which to urinate in, so we did not have to go to. And yes, it was a whole thing, and I said, if you gotta go and you gotta go someplace, I mean, if that's what makes you
airplane bathroom, I mean,
that is like, I will hold that in. That's literally because you don't know if they get inside, they can take off their mask or something. I always thought those were disgusting, anyways. You know, like I would go in with gloves either way, and you know, too close for comfort.
No,
they're all bad. They're all bad. Well. Okay, so I think we wrapped up that fun little game.
First game. Thanks for joining us on
ding, ding, ding.
What? I have a bell.
The props. Oh, we need some props. We need to get some props, Pamela.
I told Jen, I said, we need a bell. Amazon, bing.
That'll be our post-production meeting with another martini. We'll talk about the props that we need for the show. I love it. Well, let's
we want to navigate the pod living.
Yeah, let's navigate into this other question of being a mom, living in the pod living, you know, managing all the things. I'm going to throw up a beautiful picture of the fam, but can you just tell us how it's been like to wake up, you know, be a public figure, co-manage a household, and really just keep it moving and grooving? I mean, how was it in the beginning of the pandemic to now? We would love to hear, Kelly.
So look, I mean, I got teenagers. This was a Mother's Day photo that we took. This was sort of everyone's mood back in May. You can see I'm wearing slippers there. My husband has a beer in his hand. My teenagers, that's pretty much how they look all the time. So, I mean, it's been tough. I mean, I think, you know, a lot of people are talking about parents with young kids and how hands-on that is. You got teenagers that just started getting a taste of independence, and then they're being told that they have to stay inside with their parents all day. Certainly, we had our set of challenges, but we've kind of figured it out. And we're moving and grooving with distance learning. And we did do some pod living so my teenagers could start having some interaction with some of their good friends. And it was interesting because everyone's like level of comfort as far as like how close they were going to be, were the kids going to be like doing sleepovers, things like that, ran the gamut. And one family that we ended up spending, so we did pod living for about 6 weeks over the summer, where we kind of vacationed and hung out with like 3 or 4 families, and really to allow the adults to have some interaction, but it was really for the kids. And we did find this place that did like rapid COVID testing, and we got all tested before we spent a weekend together. That was the comfort of this one family. They really didn't want everyone interacting. So we did that. But other than that, we sort of had like a kind of a constitution of rules of how things were going to go down. And we did have a couple scares. But all in all, everyone was really healthy. But we really, my husband and I really felt strongly that the teenagers, you know, we have 4 kids between the two of us, were suffering like mentally. And I don't want to get into like all the personal stuff just because I don't want to embarrass the heck out of my kids, but they needed an outlet more than we did. They certainly did. So we found other families that felt the same way that we did. So that really made a difference.
That's incredible. And I'm so glad that you had an outlet and you had another family to do this with. And I have some other friends who did the same thing where they were able to travel to North Carolina and be at the Outer Banks. And but the pod situation, I don't know if everybody understands exactly what a pod is. Maybe you can explain that.
Oh, so in our situation, we sort of all got together. It was a total of 4 families. If you add my brother, he kind of came into our pod a little bit later. That would be 5, and his 3 kids. That we, go out to dinner with each other. We don't wear masks around each other. We stay at each other's homes. The kids go back and forth with all, I wouldn't say safe social distancing, but with like health top of mind, right? Like lots of hand washing, masks, and we're very transparent with each other. We had one family that had one of the parents did come down with COVID. But he was the only one that had it. And, we kind of made some decisions based on that. But we were able to just do whatever we wanted to do as sort of this larger pod. And now I'm hearing about like young kids that are doing it in the backyard with teachers that they're hiring to like teach, especially these younger school age kids, which I can't, that's got to be tough too. So we really enjoyed it. And it's kind of fell apart during the school year. Because everyone's kind of like back in their routine, but it was fun over the summer when we went to Rehoboth and it was great. It was really special.
Yeah. And Kelly, cause I've heard of families having, kind of going into the pods if it's the younger children too. And they'll have like, it's not like a nanny, but it's like kind of a like nanny teacher sort of thing who comes in, which has been a big trend, but has it been easier now with the school year? I mean, we can't even speak about the spring because we were all just kind of just figuring out. But has it been easier with the school year starting, especially since you have teenagers, with a routine? Are you feeling that they feel more, like got comforted, but like have more of a schedule? Because summer's hard in the pandemic.
Yes and no. I mean, it's, as a parent, especially if we're starting out like age 5, right? Like you're used to sending them somewhere and then you see them at the end of the day. And now it's like they're in the kitchen having lunch. They're in the kitchen having a snack. They have a downtime. They have homework time or a free period. And they're just kind of like wandering around aimlessly. I'm like, read books. Don't do this. Like I found my 16-year-old napping at 2 o'clock.
I think this is going to be a whole new era of the smothering, hovering mother, because it's kind of like you're on it. It's like, how can you use this time to be more productive right now? I mean, I get like the little after lunch nap, but I think we can be doing more.
Yeah, like I saw this kid that was on the news a couple months ago. It was a kid here in Northern Virginia who was like flying down medical supplies from McLean, Virginia to like really desperate areas all throughout Virginia. And he was literally the same age as my son. And I'm like, try harder. Try harder.
I would have been probably terrible at night. I mean, now if you put me in, I would have been like, all right, what can I do? How can I help? I would have been taking a nap for sure. Probably like eating candy, taking a nap, FaceTiming with my friends, finding like what's the next like social media platform that I can be on.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to that point of scheduling and keeping everything in, I mean, we all like when things are almost predictable and we can have an order to our day and we can have secure, that brings us security, which also plays into our mental wellness as well. How are you able to, from the standpoint of, so now you've got the kid situation and you're running your business, you're on camera in the morning, you've got your distance learning children and everything. What do you do? And this is not your fab or flourishing 5, but do you do anything as far as like maintaining your mental wellness to make sure that you just keep it all together?
Yes, I see my shrink at least once a month. But yeah, no, exercise and routine. I think, the studio's in my home, and since we do broadcast every morning at the same time, and I'm able to come down into our basement and be able to unplug here, connect with Tommy, who's not only like my colleague and business partner, but like such a good friend. it does allow me to kind of like go into a little bit of a la la land, and just talk about fun things and just do what we do. But that is my routine. Had I not had that during the pandemic, and I know a lot of people suffered with that because routines were we continued to broadcast. And I got to be honest with you, some days, like it was really hard. I mean, there were days where it was hard to get out of bed. There was days, our business took a big hit. It was really hard to be like fun and positive. But I think if I hadn't had that routine, I would have really suffered. And trust me, March and April, I was not the best parent, spouse, coworker, anything. I don't think a lot of people went through that, and getting through that, really, it was my dad. It was like, you got to get your poop together. Like you can do this. You're fine. You're healthy. Get it together, girl. That's what parents are for, right? To have that tough conversation.
No, that's what I was saying. I think like that's where, I'll say, I haven't really been able to see my parents as much either. And we're very close, and they've been quarantining still because they need to. And it's kind of like this idea perspective of, we know that the world is kind of like there's a crumbling that's going on and we're out of control, which is what causes anxiety. And I can therapy myself. I've gone to years of therapy. So sometimes I sound like a therapist because I'm channeling Stacy. But if the hardest part though is like when you don't have the control. And I think that months of April, May, I would say actually March, April, May were so difficult, and there was no answers really. And then if you look actually just within your one unit, your family, your health, it's like, if you have that, you're okay, and things will come back. But that's why I think even reasons why Pamela and I have been probably talking, we've spoken every single day in the glamdemic, if you will, just to like, all right, where's your mind at today? Where is it tomorrow? What's this trigger? And it's so important to talk about it. And I think now we can talk about it because everyone's feeling the same way at the moment.
Yeah, totally.
Well, all I know is that the business that I should have gotten into, well, I can name about 5 of them from now on, heaters, outdoor heaters, to obviously alcohol and wine. I should have gotten that a long time ago, to plexiglass. Hello, who would have known that plexiglass would be everywhere? And there were a lot of other things that I'm like, could have gotten into that.
You can't predict the future sometimes, though, Pamela. You can't predict the future. Sometimes people just got lucky, like Peloton. They were competing with SoulCycle, and then SoulCycle was like, "Well, oh no, we need a bike now." And then it took them a couple months to get there, and they launched it. That's fine. But Peloton was like, that stock rose up.
It's very true. It's very true. Well, I think it might be time to do our.
Wait, can we get the bell?
Oh, thank you. Let me tell you something. I am not kidding you. I wrote to Jen last night. I texted her when she was sound asleep, I'm sure at 11 o'clock. I was like, please we need a bell. We need a bell.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, we have to order that. Well, let's post pro show. We do need a bell. I was like, oh, wow.
We'll be doing like things that we need to do. Bell. And many other things. So I think it is time for us to talk about our fantastic,
flourishing,
flourishing 5. Kelly, you were going to go first. I'm going to toss it to you. And by the way, before we go into that, in case you don't know what our, I almost said fabulous, fantastic, fabulous, flourishing 5. What is this? This list is every week we are going to talk about something, whether it's a product or a service or an app or a YouTuber or an experience or a service, anything that we say you gotta get into.
Okay. I will go real quick. So I will tell you, I became a gardener. We had such a mild spring, so I did start gardening, and we're very close with our next door neighbors. We share a yard. So yeah, this was some of my summer. I had tomatoes and kale and lettuce and green beans and beets and radishes. It was amazing. But here's the one thing I want to tell you. First off, I'm not doing this next year because my water bill for the price of these vegetables, I could have gone to the farmer's market and had whatever I wanted. When I got my first water bill, I'm like, screw this. I am not doing this next year. But here's the one thing you need to know about gardening. If you ever do it, do not plant the peas next to the cucumbers because they're both vine plants and they vine together and strangle each other. So by August, I had neither. So this was, I think, early July, the photo that you're showing on there. So that was sort of my one advice that I learned as Farmer Kelly.
Farmer Kelly, that's amazing.
Do not plant your green beans and your cucumbers next to each other.
I've never heard that before, but I really appreciate that advice. I mean, seriously, it takes people like you to go out into the wilderness and go on.
The wilderness, the backyard.
Yeah, exactly. So my first one is, it goes to my hair. This is a product. And Jen had said the other day, she's like, oh my gosh, I love how your hair is looking. So this is Urban. I can't get it because, so here's the thing. It's opposite here. So, right. I mean, come on.
All right. I think I got Urban Hydration.
Yes.
Urban Hydration. We'll put it. Yeah, I'll put that in the comments for sure.
It smells so good. Anyway, so it's a health and repair style cream, and it's like super vegan and all this other stuff. Like, well, it doesn't. Maybe it's not vegan, but anyway, it is taking care of the ends when we are at a point in our hair life when we're like, they're kind of like, it keeps it up there, and it smells good.
Oh, where do you get it?
Oh, you can probably get this from anywhere from Amazon to Whole Foods to Target to one of those places.
Is it organic or?
Oh yeah.
What's the name again? I'm just going to put in the comments for the audience.
Urban Hydration.
Urban Hydration for your hair. Okay, I see you.
Listen, you're going to make me do this. Are you really going to make me do this?
5-star rated.
Uh-oh. You got the glasses on.
Health and repair style. Argan oil and sweet vanilla bean extract with honey. Oh my God. It's got ginger. It's got beeswax. It's got cocoa butter. It's got rose. I could eat this and it would be okay.
I could eat it. I'm hungry. I'm literally hungry. It's about frankly, it's past our dinner time, Pamela. We like to eat dinner, around 5 o'clock.
7. Jen, what is on your first of your fantastic 5?
Okay. So I wrote this down. Hey, BDO. So I wrote this down. The Goldbergs. I've been binge watching the Goldbergs on Hulu nonstop. I think I didn't leave my apartment all weekend, and I just watched probably Saturday, Sunday, and Yom Kippur Monday. And it's just, there's 7 seasons. I'm almost done the 7th one. Just hilarious. Good family from, Philadelphia area. And it's a good laugh. It's a very good laugh.
Laughter is what we need more than anything.
You need to add that to the list.
Yeah. Oh, definitely add it to the list. It's a family-oriented show too, and it totally speaks to the smothering mom, which you're not. But I'm just saying, it's fun. It's fun.
I'll jump in and say, I've been watching it. It is hilarious. I love the cast. I love all the actors, and I laugh and I laugh. And we all know right now we need to laugh. So I'll ding to number 2, Kelly.
Well.
So I will jump onto the TV binge watching. I have loved Schitt's Creek for the last couple weeks. I'm a late adapter, but let me tell you why it just dawned on me why I love it so much. I mean, great writing. Obviously, they got all the Emmys, yada, yada. People have been watching it for years. I get it. The storyline we all can relate to. They were rich. They had their lives completely turned upside down overnight. That we are all living right now. Not that we were all rich, but our lives overnight have changed. And it's all about their story about how a family or a pod or whatever learns how to adapt with this sudden change. It's so relevant today. And I love watching, and I watch it with my teenagers. They're old enough where they get some of the humor, and it's just the one thing, and it's 15, 20 minutes long. I love it. I am obsessed with it.
I will just 1 second just say, I'm also obsessed with Schitt's Creek. I actually watched it years ago with my ex-fiance. That's where it started. I had to take a break from it for a second, and then I relaunched it with my sister-in-law. And it was just like, oh, like,
I know.
and you can rewatch episodes, which I love. I've already rewatched the whole everything in the pandemic. Like my sister-in-law binge watched the whole thing.
It's so good.
Again, timeless, evergreen, good entertainment, but also things we can watch that brings the family closer together, and it allows us to think about our lives in a much more meaningful way. With that, let's talk about when we are wearing our loafers, which I bought a lot of Everlane loafers pre-pan.
I remember you sent me all the links.
March-ish. And I'm like, oh my God, I love these so much. Where the hell am I going to? Anyway, so I started wearing them around my house recently. And what happened was, because I wanted to stretch them out. And what happened was they screwed up my ankles really badly. So what I found is that this thing I read about, and it freaking works. This stuff is amazing. What is it? It is a spray that you spray on the back of your heels or anywhere else. It turns into glue. It turns into like some adhesive thing that is a protective against the burning and the bare of this shoe that is like going to rub against you. It's like it is like amazing.
Like a callus.
Yeah, it creates a fake callus, which stops it becoming from a blister. So then I can wear my lovely loafers and all the other shoes that I got that I don't have anywhere to go in. I teeter around in my heels in my apartment. But these are actually really great. So this is great. So not only when we get back into wearing shoes, we do still wear shoes. I mean, we don't just wear slippers all the time, but this is really one of my favorite things.
I love that.
And it's also pink.
I wore my Everlane loafers during my commercial, or I definitely wore them around somewhere recently, and I'll tell you, they need those things. I got some blisters from them, so we have to wear them in. Number two for Jen. This turtleneck is actually Pamela sent it to me. $25 on Amazon. It's so comfortable. Pamela has it in several colors. We'll provide the link if you're interested. It's good variety. You look classy on camera. You don't have to wear a necklace, so it's less on that. Maybe a bolder lip. But I love it. Very comfortable. Made in China. So, they're back at manufacturing. So let's go. Thank you.
I love it. Yeah, you need to put up the link for that.
I will. I'll say we'll share link.
5 of them.
Yeah, we'll share. I'm telling the audience, the one person. We'll share a link to the Amazon turtleneck.
Oh my God. Okay. Kelly, number 3.
So I am a big fan of supporting local restaurants. Native Washingtonian, Clyde's restaurant group put out these glasses, and you can't really see it, but it's their logo. It's a donkey and an elephant. They're having dinner together, and it says something we can all agree on. That's been their logo for 40 years. My parents had this poster in their basement of our house growing up, and they did these commemorative glasses because it has the year on it, 2020. And I order these for takeout all the time. I live near the Clydes in Georgetown. It was a great way to support the local restaurants. It was nostalgic for me. It was a sense of comfort. Alcohol being delivered is an amazing thing during the pandemic. But I also have to give a shout out because my other favorite local restaurant, and I know it's one of yours, Pamela, I'm not sure about you, Jen, because we're just getting to know each other. Peacock was doing margarita mixes, and that's the margarita mix that's in here for Peacock. So I go down, get my glass. Anyway, so yes, I have. Oh, and this is their bottle. They were doing Peacock Cafe in Georgetown also. Actually, I had my wedding there. They were doing, it's the mix, and you could buy a bottle of tequila if you needed that as well. So that's kind of a twofer. But it was a great way to just kind of support the restaurants that I love so much. And it makes me so sad that what they're going through. But
Jen is a fan. I know she's got a story about Peacock Cafe. I've got stories about Peacock Cafe. I mean, it's
Shahab.
And the secrets that man knows.
Oh, well, You put some tequila in people sometimes, or some bourbon or wine, and they'll really open up. They'll really open up.
Oh my gosh, I love them. I love that you shared that, and I'm excited because we're gonna, when we do our tagging and sharing, we're gonna make sure that they all get tagged and oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we're back to, you guys are so amazing with these like experiences. I'm gonna go back to the beauty that I know, and so
I'm like, I can't wait. This is like show and tell.
I know.
Okay,
So I don't even know how to use all these things.
I would figure out how to use this camera backwards. Okay, so I love this. Nyx Born To Glow. I have been using this. I kid you not. I got it at Target. So I do watch Dominique Sake. I'll talk about her as being a Fab Five on YouTube, and she's like, 2 million viewers or whatever. I have been obsessed with this during the pandemic, because if I'm not going to put stuff on, I just want like a little bit of like, okay, just a little bit of sparkle. This stuff, it's an illuminator. So if I'm going to do a Zoom call, all I have to do is do it like a little bit here, a little bit here. I have to have more makeup on now, but a little bit here, a little bit to just kind of like make you pop just a tiny bit. And I've noticed the difference, and it makes me feel just like a little bit brighter. So it's not like I have to do a full face of makeup, because who wants to do that every single day? It's just a teeny tiny little bit. Just again, a little bit here, up here, a little bit up here, maybe a little bit like here. Sometimes I do like a little bit like right down here, but definitely under the eyes. It just kind of like brightens you up.
Like that.
I like that. Frankly, that's maybe something I have to add on to my Amazon list. Hopefully that's where I can find it.
A bell? So we got to get a bell. I mean, got to get that.
Bell. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Kelly has the works. So my third one is a book that I just finished. Hey, Oprah's Book Club. I'm pretty sure I posted about it. Like I posted a picture on Instagram of like my nightstand or something back in June. And everyone was asking like, oh my God, what do you think about American Dirt? And I was like, haha, like I didn't respond because I haven't started it yet. It's an aspiration. So I went for Labor Day weekend and I read American Dirt. I had 10 pages to finish, which I finished this past week. And on a more serious note, American Dirt was an amazing story, because as we kind of sit here in America and a lot of us are suffering in different ways, it kind of gives you perspective on what's going on outside of America and the struggles there. And it just kind of said, I've always read about the stories from the refuge from Africa, and with Hotel Rwanda, I've always been a close place in my heart there. And hearing this story, it was really powerful. So I definitely recommend everyone read it. There might be some tears, but it was powerful. So just my book club recommendation.
Nice.
Very nice. I read it as well. It is a very powerful book for sure. Absolutely. Wait, Kelly, you're next. Ding.
So you guys last week were talking about coloring and doing adult coloring books. Both my kids, we did like a mad spree on Amazon for Legos, and both my kids, as they were little kids, were into it, and we did Legos. We did two. I did one with my daughter, which was the Friends Central Perk set, a Lego set, which was so much fun to do with my daughter. I never thought of me at 14, she's 14, and me doing that together. I never thought we'd be doing that, because I tell you, as a parent, there's so many times I'd sit there doing the Lego pieces they would get for Christmas. Like, okay, let's put together the Legos. This was actually like a fun thing. She binge watched Friends over the summer, and so like there was some connection around, like she finally gets the whole relationship around it. And then my son did the Capitol, the U.S. Capitol, which we are now like, we have them displayed in our house. It's like our new decor, because we're proud of our work during the art. And it was great. Yeah, there's the Friends set there, Central Perk. It was so much fun, and the whole gang is there. And I have it actually set up in my bar, up in my room, up in the dining room. So It is.
That is the cutest thing I've ever seen.
I love this. This is like my version of Animal Crossing. Like, but they were just in a game. But it's like you can set up these lives and just stage. It's so fun.
Yeah, totally. Legos were our go-to for a while. It's an expensive hobby. I think that set runs you about $50. So
that's a lot, but it's so fun to look at.
Yeah, it is. So that was our fun thing to do with the kids.
Wait, how long did it take you guys to finish?
It was about an hour.
So you need a lot of Legos, and you need another set. I mean, that's probably like that could be like if you really are hooked, that could be like a $250 day of just Lego sets, right, Kelly? I mean, just adding up the math here.
And then what are you gonna do with them, right? Like you got to put them in a special place so they don't fall apart because they're Legos.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. You have to display them because they're art. Well, I'm back to makeup, and I promise you, my last one.
I love it.
My last one, you're going to laugh at. No, you're not going to laugh at. You're going to enjoy because it has. I will not be able to show you. I will be able to talk about it. This is by Tom Ford, and again, going back to the what do we do when we just don't want to put all the stuff on our face, but we want to feel like we have a little bit of stuff on our face during a Zoom call or whatever we're doing. This is, oh my good Lord, excuse me a moment.
Try join you. Hold on, I'll put on my glasses too.
This is Cream Color for Eyes Platinum 01. Let me.
Wait, it's eyeshadow?
It's eye cream / bronzer / what? Okay, don't look at my fingers. So basically, what you do is you can just like dab it on your eyes, and it's got a little bit of shimmer, but it's a little bit of color. You can even do a little bit here. You can do a little bit here, but it's really for your eyes. And in essence, just you don't have to be like, oh, I got to brush my eyes or anything. It's just like a little like these things. Sometimes there are days where I'm just like this and some mascara and I'm good.
I love that you ran the gamut. You went to like Target and then you have like the bougie Tom Ford. Well done.
It's you know what?
I got my Chanel.
That is like okay. It's like literally Pamela's whole makeup counter is on her desk right now. But I think it's kind of like that look of where you wore like the designer jeans, but like a shirt from Target, like as the top. It's like it's all about looking like classy. That's in my opinion. I mean, I love this. This looks like James Pierce. It's like, no, it's not. It's Amazon. Wait, so is that me? Do I have mine?
Yes, you're number 4, and then we go to Kelly for 5.
Yeah. So, lemon water. I love it. I was always a spa water fan, but I think waking up and having some lemon water is just really makes you feel refreshed. I drink it throughout the whole day as well, just because it's citrusy, makes you feel clean. Also makes you feel like you're in a spa. So it's really relaxing. So that's my number 4.
I do like the big water bottle and fill it up, and it just
Cheers.
Good.
Yeah, and not only do I love that all day, but if it is a scientific fact, if you start off your day with that, especially if it's hot, you like, whoa, it is like, everything is out of you. It's like a freaking slide. Everything out.
Like coffee and lemon water, you probably should give yourself an hour,
You should not be talking to anyone. Thank you, pandemic. I don't have to talk to anybody for, 2 to 3 hours because you got to be out.
Okay, that's good to know.
Like mic drop, sleep crust out. Okay, number 5. Ding, ding, ding.
All right, so I have now cosmetic. This is Alchemy Forever, which is actually their U.S. headquarters are here in D.C. And this is their brightening mask, which smells like blueberry. Amazing. And Pamela's on your head. But I don't know if you know this, Pamela. This is not, you can use it for a mask, but I use it for moisturizer.
Oh.
It blends into your skin. You put it on and you literally, like, your skin is glowing. It's like an everyday moisturizer. So don't get caught up in the mask thing. I think, and I've told Ada, who lives here, the CEO, I'm like, you need to put this in a bottle as a moisturizer. She's like, it's a mask. I'm like, no, but you put it on, it goes right into your skin and you're glowing. You don't have to wipe it off. It's amazing.
I will. Okay.
So
I
wrote down yours.
Yes. I love, first of all, I love Ada. I loved that as a mask. And now that you just told me that, especially as we're going into the very dry, like skin season, it will like soak up. Blueberries are amazing. And I know all of their
so many antioxidants.
So and it's their stuff is so natural and I just love it. So we're talking about faces. You know, one of my problems has been my hair that has grown on my face. So the hair that has grown on my face, and I don't mean the hair that's here. I'm talking about the hair that's here and like here and here and here. And let's be real. I'm not waxing it or anything. So I got into threading, and I don't thread myself. I started going to a place called American Threading Company, which is based right in Arlington. And, you know, I wear the mask, and she does the whole, you know, the eyebrows and the forehead and everything. And look, I realized that it can be embarrassing as a woman to realize that there's hair growing on her face, especially as we get older. But there are methods that we can talk about and that we can use, whether it's waxing or whatever. I would say don't bleach it, because then you look like you have like white hair on your face.
Like it's there, but it's like hiding, but there, and looks kind of like a beard. You know what I'm saying?
And like in the sun, especially on a Zoom call, you're like, is she wearing some sort of, I don't know, did she put that on purpose? Because it's just so much. And like she turns the point and it's like, hello, but, or like, hello. So I'm into the threading thing, and it's fast and it doesn't hurt that much. No. So I'm actually, my next appointment is tomorrow. I'm a little addicted to it and I like it, and it's not that painful.
I like that.
I'm here for it. I'm more of a tweezer myself thing. I've had some very bad experiences with electrolysis and laser, and just in general, I'm like, I'm going to take care of this myself. A little tweeze. You know, last time, Pamela didn't know, on our call, probably the last morning call for like, you know, we were just having our coffee. I was literally tweezing my whole face. It's very efficient. A little trimmer. That's not gross. It's just your face, Pamela.
It's
just
gross.
your face.
Well, Jen, wait till you have a gray hair come out of one of the... because that will happen, and that is like, what the frick is this?
Where did that come from? No, I know. I'm prepared for that day.
Or your eyebrow, you're like, I'm not ready for this.
I'm not ready for it, because then there's going to be more. You know what I'm saying? It's like, then there's going to be more. So that's like, I don't know.
You have decades for that. So I'm just warning you.
It could happen in my 30s. It could happen in my 30s.
Happened in my 30s. Yeah.
Did it? Oh, geez.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Well, this has been awesome.
Jan, wait. Did you do your last one?
I thought that was just my last one.
What was your last one?
Tweezing over threading.
Okay. Anyway, so this has been fun. Ding, ding. Before we do our outro, we are coming up on 6:30. We are so grateful to Kelly for taking time out of your very busy schedule to I know. Thank you. Gosh, we could, if we had more time, we'd be, you know, we'd have to go off camera and talk a lot more about things.
I would have to make a second martini, so that would be a whole 5-minute situation. We would need like a little like infomercial break.
And we loved learning more about you, because you're such a beautiful human. And we're so glad about all the things that you're doing. And yeah. And before we do our little outro thing, is there anything that you want to leave us with, that whether thoughts or anything? We always want to ask our guests that.
Oh, well, thank you guys. No, just thanks for having me on. And, you know, we're excited. Tommy and I are making a big announcement. We've been business partners for the last 18 months, friends for 10 years. We're making a big announcement on Friday, where we're changing some things up and have some new additions to our channel. And we're really excited to share that on Friday. And it's the silver lining of the pandemic for sure, because it's something we've been wanting to do for a long time. And the pandemic gave us sort of a minute to take a pause, slow down, and regroup. So thank you guys for having me on, Jen and Pamela. It's been awesome.
I love it.
You're welcome. So I'm going to let Jen take us out. But before I let her take us out, I will just say this one thing. None of this has been sponsored. Not one of the products or services has been sponsored. Now, if you would like to be a sponsor, if you would like to see your product, your service, your clothing, anything that you have that you're running in your business on our show, you contact me directly. I'd be happy to talk to you about that. So with that, I will let Jen take us out.
High Frequency Consulting, LLC. Anyways, well, thank you again, Kelly, for joining us today. I'm really just pumped about the growth of Bare Naked Women, and you've been an amazing first guest to the show. And you can follow us on. I'm your co-host, Jen Sherman, founder of the Influencer Collective. This is our other amazing co-host. Give it one more shout out.
Pamela Sorensen and Fraser Simone.
In the back. She didn't cry, which is amazing. You can tune in every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. ET on Facebook Live. We will eventually be also streaming on Instagram Live. That's on me. I just need to get our channel on there. You'll also be eventually able to subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play. That's on me again. I have to get that on there. And follow us. Join the community. If you have any topics that you want us to talk about, any Flourishing 5, join in the comments. Pop us a message. Love to have you on. But we'll see you next Tuesday. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Kelly.
Bye.